hey, I'm here, I'm Annie, it's really nice to meet you. Here are my thoughts on a bunch of things. Am I an egomaniac for putting myself on the internet? The short answer is definitely, absolutely. And the long answer is definitely not, because we're all egomaniacs, so none of us are. Social media has risen a lot in every moment. It's continuing to grow. It's totally uncharted territory that we're all still exploring. And I remember when Twitter was coming out and I was like, oh my god, can you believe those people are like talking about going to get groceries or like, you know, sharing these parts of their life? And now it's more and more of an acceptable and just normalized thing to put a lot of your life out there. So in my opinion, media makes us both more and less self-aware. It makes us more and less connected to each other, more and less aware of how we're all connected. You can see people sitting on their phones and like everyone's like this and like hunched over and totally like in screen world and totally immersed. You can also FaceTime or talk to people who are on the other side of the planet. You can watch people who are living a life very differently from yours in a very different part of the world and remember that they're human, they're going through their day-to-day life, that maybe they're not so different after all. So I'm a believer that we all have egos. To me, my ego is the part that wants to be right all the time. It's the part that wants to take care of me and really take care of my body. It's the part of me that wants to be seen and heard and listened to and acknowledged. And honestly, when I say, or when I've been like, oh, I want to detach from the ego, that's the most egotistical moment. The biggest ego trip is being, I'm egoless. In like the consciousness competition among the hippies, the more someone says they're detached from their ego, the more attached I tend to find their actions are to my perception of their ego. So I'm not alone in this slippery. I'm not alone in this back and forth between having moments of feeling really self-confident and secure and moments of feeling really self-conscious. And again, that's tied to the ego. To me, it's part of our whole to say that we're egoless, or to say that, you know, to reach enlightenment, or to really understand humans, or whatever it is that we need to let go of our ego is language I disagree with. I think that the game is more about changing our awareness of our ego and embracing it and remembering that it is part of us and it is not all of us, and it is what has made it, you know, it is what lets us see the world through these eyes. I only know one perception of the world, and having an awareness of that can help me to be kinder to myself, while also remembering that everyone else is only going about their life making decisions based on the one perception they have that they've seen of the world. They've also only had one set of eyes and ears and all the senses that they've experienced, and no one has spent more time with that person than they have. So it's interesting to me to see how the ego, it both has a lot of power to help us transform, and it also is a huge part of what limits us and holds us back from connecting to ourselves. Bum bum. So if I'm not just an egotistical butt face here, why am I doing this? Why am I talking to my phone? Why am I putting myself on YouTube? You know, besides the reason I love to give of I'm writing a show and I'm using YouTube and Instagram to publicize and get the word out so I can take the show on tour, which is true and which is what I'm doing. Why am I really here? What am I doing? And my best bet is that I'm using this to get to know myself deeply, to love myself deeply, to get in touch with the ego and to let go of some of it. And I hope to encourage others to do the same, and to take the time to reflect and just to think, just to sit with it, just sit with the feelings, sit with yourself, instead of, you know, pushing it all away. My other motivation for this is to take life less seriously, to care less about what other people think, to do what I want to do when I want to do it, and ironically care less about other people's opinions by sharing mine. So, full circle, maybe I am just an egotistical narcissist, asshole, egomaniac, whatever you want to call me. I don't know. One video closer to maybe finding out a little. Thanks for being you. Ego and all.